What is going on? You are listening to TAGSPodcast, aka Talk About Gay Sex Podcast. I'm your host, Steve V, and this is episode 345 alongside Jeremy Ross Lopez. How you doing, Jeremy?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing really good on this Monday when we record it. Joining us, of course, is Cody Maurice Doggett. How you doing, Cody?
Hello, darlings. I'm doing well. It's so good to hear your lovely voices. How y'all doing tonight?
Very good.
You sound very clear.
Girl, the internet is on point here today. I just got it installed today. I went through so many changes. I'm sorry I cut you off.
No, Jeremy, I don't know if you know this, but he moved in with his boyfriend Joe and got internet access. Yeah.
Well, the moving in with my boyfriend. He needs to clean a little bit more because we got a lot of boxes to unpack still.
Oh, God.
Well, you barely moved in.
I'm ready to not live like this anymore. I can't. I tried to look for some clothes to go out the other night, and I have to get this closet set up tonight or tomorrow. Done. And then, you know what I'm really excited about is to do the show from my new place, like the live show, so everybody can see.
New backgrounds, I love it.
I can't wait.
Oh, that's great. Speaking of which, people always ask us, Wednesday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern Time is our Tags Live show. And it's on the Get Vocal platform, but you can get to it by going to TAGSPodcast.com. All right. Jeremy, how's your new job going?
It's really great. Yeah, it's busy, and I have a few vacations coming up, so I'm excited about that. And it's been going well.
Nice. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And I am 8 weeks post-surgery and went to the gym today, gym in my building. And yeah, was really happy about that. Walking in the boot. I'm so happy to be walking again. And I have incentive too. My college buddy, who was the one that I got into trouble with. You know, we all have one of those from back in the day. This was my college buddy at Berkeley. And we were thick as thieves, workout buddies back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
He and I became go-go dancers in the 90s and tore it up in San Francisco. Yeah. He is coming in 2 weeks. So,
oh, my goodness.
And I'm going to his wedding later this year, which I'm really excited to go to his wedding in Mexico. However, he's ready to have like a girls' night out. And I'm like, okay, let me get this ankle together. Because I mean... He said, we're going together even if I have to carry you around the city. I said, okay, all right, it's going to be that. So I am, go ahead.
Put me on the guest list, honey, because I want to be part of this epic evening.
Yes, I will. I will put you on it. It's going to be a lot of fun. We have some shout outs to some new members who joined our Tag Sex Pause community over on Patreon. Rex is listening to us in Dallas, Texas. Hey, Rex, nice to join. Thanks for joining us. James H. You know James, Cody.
I do.
James was a guest on our Tags Live episode recently and shared a lot. James is listening to us in Chicago, Chi-Town. And Jerry C. of San Francisco, California, my old stomping ground where I dance, is listening to us and joined the Tags Sex Pause community. So thanks, guys. You guys can join too. We got a lot of perks coming your way over there on patreon.com/TAGSPodcast. And right before we went live, a listener wrote into us. I just got to read this. I got this right as we were going on. I wanted to let you know that last night I listened to one of TAG's February 2022 podcasts and thoroughly enjoyed it. I was a listener back when TAG started and listened to every first year podcast. However, I slowly moved away from listening as the format moved away from hearing about sex stories. Okay, not so sure about that, but and focused more on special guests, which lost my interest. I took a new job and travel all over the country. Last night, driving from Philly to Bethlehem, I decided to download a recent podcast. being pleasantly surprised that Tags was still going strong after 5 years. Okay, now. I loved the episode, hearing guys either write or call in for sex or relationship advice. I'm hooked onto listening to Tags once again and wanted to let you know that you've recaptured my interest of one of your original listeners. Signed, John in Phoenix, Arizona. Thanks,
Thanks,
John.
John. That's so
Welcome
great.
back. Yes, absolutely. And you'll be happy to know that we have advice for a listener on this episode coming up a little bit later in the show. So stay tuned for that. All right. Well, let's get into it. And I could not help but talk about this next story. Thousands of photos were found on a computer of a Texas man who secretly recorded Airbnb guests naked and fucking. This has been my worst fear, you guys.
Was it
But
me?
because I want to know what you guys think about it in a second. But more than 2,100 images, many of which show people in various states of undress, have been recovered from a computer belonging to a Kendall County man accused of recording guests without their knowledge inside the bedroom of his Hill County rental cabin.
Oh my God.
I know. Details
Yeah.
from the growing criminal and civil case against A.J. Ali, who is 54. You're not giving... okay, 50-year-old here. Ali now faces 15 charges of invasive visual recording after additional charges were filed against him last month. Accused of recording guests on hidden camera made to look like a power adapter for a router. See how
Oh, man.
the surreptitious piece of equipment, which can be purchased on hidden camera websites for under $130, is believed to have been in place for 9 months or longer. And you know how it all happened? A man, his wife, went to go take a shower, and the man was in bed waiting for her to do the busy. I get busy, I'm sure.
Mhm.
When he noticed the AC power adapter facing the bed, according to the warrant. Upon further inspection, the guy realized that the box was a small camera and recording device wired into the wall and facing the direction of the bed in which they were to sleep that night. Later that month, investigators uncovered 2,100 thumbnail images from videos that have been on Ali's seized computer. How I have rented many an Airbnb or VRBR
Mhm.
in my life. The last one was my sister's birthday in Santa Cruz, and we were really worried about those because we were having a little party outside in this cute Santa Cruz Capitola house.
Mhm.
And it was her birthday, and we were like having music and barbecuing, and we got a call that we were being noisy, and we were wondering, how does she doesn't live here? And we were all pretty certain there was a camera not facing the bedroom like this
Outside, right?
story, but
Yeah. Okay.
outside.
I
And
mean,
we still felt violated. At the end of it, some of our friends flipped it off. Yeah, totally flipped it off. And because I just think, I mean, Jeremy, does this like freak you out when you hear this
Of
story?
course it does. That's so sketchy and like creepy, and it sounds like just like a total setup and scam. I have a story where my friend, one of my close friends, rented a house in Atlanta for her brother's birthday weekend,
mhm.
and they ended up getting kicked out of the Airbnb for doing the same thing, barbecuing in the backyard by the pool. And come to find out, the I don't know the camera situation. I think there was definitely cameras in certain areas, but
Mhm.
come to find out, the gay guy was staying in the pool house and didn't tell them.
You mean the
What?
gay guy that owns the property?
That owned
Or
the property was in the pool house with the doors locked and everything, and like watching what they were doing, and then
Oh,
just like
no.
came out, blew up their spot, and like kicked them out. And it was like a
oh,
disaster, hot mess Airbnb.
Give me all my money back
Right.
because
Oh,
yes.
she got it all back.
good. Good,
Oh,
good.
there are so many. It's kind of like Uber. We forget about these stories. Like I'm watching. There's the whole story of how Uber got started with the original founder, Super Pumped on Showtime right now,
Mhm.
and it's so interesting how the app started, how Airbnb started, and there are these great things that we all love and use and are part of our modern day society. But there's a drawback to some of
Yeah, there's
them.
a dark
Cody,
side.
I know you're kind of an exhibitionist and like to be viewed, but this goes a little bit beyond it, wouldn't you say, when
Oh,
you don't
for
know?
sure. It's deplorable. And I hope this man is it is because I may be an exhibitionist, but I like to have the person in the room watching me do what I need to do. Make me watching me work it out, okay? Put it down. But and I think that it's just especially when you're being recorded without your knowledge, that in and of
Yeah, it's so
itself it's
lascivious.
a violation for sure. And I hope that he gets what's coming to him. I personally love to rent Airbnbs just to go have sex in. I want to
Well,
do that
right.
in every single state. Like if I go on vacation with a boyfriend, not even before I even had a boyfriend, I was going on vacation. I was getting some strange. I was having sex. I was going to put it down, and it really creep me out if I found out that I was being videoed the entire time. So
Well, Airbnbs are like hotels, and everybody wants to have sex in the hotel. So
yeah,
there's no difference here. It's funny because Jeremy and I were talking offline before we got started
uh-huh.
about my sister's getting a place in Puerto Vallarta, a brand new condo, and I'm helping her with it, and she's gonna put it up for Airbnb, of course,
Okay, she can
because
record
when she's not
me. She
there.
has my
Well,
permission.
okay, she can record you. Got it. However, I do know that one thing I would definitely do, knowing that I've had sex in hotels and Airbnbs, we will have separate bedding for the guests that'll be perfectly presentable and
Mhm.
washed and clean. And then when we come, I think I'm going to have my own bedding,
Smart.
just because right? Would you, Jeremy, too? Probably
Of
have your own
course
bed.
I would.
Fumigate
I also
after
have
every.
I have like a bedding fetish, and I love like just really really nice sheets and bedding, so I would totally have my own stash.
Yeah, definitely own stash on that one. Oh my gosh. Creepy.
Yeah.
All right, moving on. Daily prep is good, new story, but for many, the new long-term injectable is even better. So so these are some stats. So we're going to talk about injectable prep, and I want to get your thoughts on this. But these are some stats that I didn't really know exactly. There's an estimated 38 million people living with HIV/AIDS in the world today, okay, with over 35 million people having died from complications of the virus since 1981.
Oh,
In and just to counteract that, didn't we hear today 600,000 people died of coronavirus? Just to kind of put it all in
oh
perspective.
wow.
In 2020, 1.5 million people were newly diagnosed with HIV. That's a staggering
It
number.
is. That's wild.
Yeah. Despite US having all the tools needed to end this heinous pandemic. So on December 20th of last year, the FDA approved the first injectable treatment for HIV, and it's called Apretude, extended release injectable suspension. Apretude is a major breakthrough for people wanting to prevent HIV transmission. Like PrEP, an important tool in the effort to end the HIV epidemic. Just to give you another perspective, in 2012, the FDA approved Truvada. So we're moving along nicely here. Truvada, which I take, I'm back on PrEP, you guys.
Okay.
Remember, I told you, I said everybody, since my ankle's broken since December, there was no need, so I kind of got off of it. But I'm back on it because there's a light at the end of this broken ankle tunnel,
2 weeks,
and
girl.
my doctor 2 weeks, right? So I'm back on it, and I've acquired all of the medication here, so I have it. Um, However, Truvada toxicities include, which many of us know, renal and bone toxicities in both HIV positive and HIV negative individuals,
Hmm.
as well as kidney toxicities, including acute kidney injury, chronic kidney disease, and Fanconi's syndrome. I don't know what that
Hmm.
is. I should have looked that up, but anyways, so then, as we all know, Descovy came out, which has been a little bit safer for renal and bone toxicities, less likely, but not every insurance covers Descovy. It is well documented that compliance with daily PrEP intake wanes significantly through 48 weeks of use. So, meaning, I'm assuming what they mean by that is people get sort of lackadaisy, maybe taking the daily pill
Mm-hmm.
after a certain period of time because it is daily, increasing the possibility of acquiring HIV. Injectable PrEP, currently, the studies show safety for no bone or renal toxicities have been associated with the use of Apretude. So, like for me, I would want to ask my doctor about this because I'm, with a brand new bone with my ankle, this could be something that I would be concerned about. Finally, findings with Apretude have associated with 69% less chance of getting infected with HIV when compared to Truvada. That's really
Hmm.
good in a new study.
Yeah.
The second trial was associated with the 90% less risk of acquiring HIV when compared with Truvada. So I think, Jeremy, I know you get your Truvada, your PrEP through Mister, correct?
Yes,
Still?
I do.
Would you consider getting injectable Apretude PrEP?
I probably would. I mean, it would be something that I would consider just because of the fact that it I wouldn't have to take it daily, but I also have no issue with taking it daily.
Yeah,
But
me either.
I would definitely try it out.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to consider getting on it for sure. Talk to my doctor. I know it's in its early phases. We'll see with insurance companies, how they're always kind of late to the game to want to move forward. But for me personally, I think it would be great just because of the bone density issue and because I don't know. On the other hand, given this period of broken ankle, I've gotten on to all of these supplements for bone density and
Mm-hmm.
for just really good vitamins that are now part of my daily regimen. And I just kind of put Truvada in the mix now. So, and with the fact that you do get tested for your kidneys and your liver, I'm not too worried. Maybe
Yeah.
I'll write out the because I have all this Truvada in my cabinet
Mm-hmm.
now. I'll write that out. I'll still do all my tests like I'm supposed to do, provided I'm having sex,
Mm-hmm.
listeners. But maybe after that, I'll see where we're at with it. But I'm for it. And Jeremy, remember we visited that initial doctor at Columbia University back in the day when they were just telling us about
I
this.
know, I remember.
Yeah, which was really exciting.
So interesting.
Cody, I know you've said before on the show that you're not on PrEP or anything.
I'm
What are your thoughts though on this?
I'm on prep.
Oh, you are on PrEP. Okay, I
Yeah.
thought, yeah.
I'm not a big needle person, so I don't know. It's something that I'll probably look into, but I am deathly afraid of needles.
Oh.
Yeah, I that
Oh.
would be the drawback for me. Yeah, I can't. Every time I get my blood drawn, I almost want to pass out. It's a lot. So yeah, I don't.
That's
Does that
I
sound like
used to
I'm being a baby?
No, I used to be the same exact way. And my whole thing is I'm fine with it. I just have to look the other way.
Not
And
me.
I've had so many needles prodded in me in the last year, not even just with the ankle. It just seems like at a certain point, get this booster, get this, get this, get that,
Mm-mm.
that I'm like, okay, I get it now. Just poke away. I want to get poked by something bigger and larger soon. And I'm hoping that is on the list. So, all right. Well, let us know what you think on that one. Maybe that's our poll question for the week. In fact, you can always just go to patreon.com/tags podcast on our page there. The poll question of the week is, will you consider trying injectable PrEP? Let us know and we'll report back on that. All right. Well, a recent Reddit thread asked the question, and I love this question. Gay men listed their first adult actor crush that got
Oh
through,
wow.
and we do this whole thing every Wednesday night on Tags Live where we ask the question by Straight Up Gay Porn, who posted the thirstiest, hottest picture of the week, and they're all by current porn stars and OnlyFans sensations, as I like to call them. This is kind of going back for a lot of people, though, on first adult actor crush that you kind of just develop when you're first starting to jack off. And there was some really interesting, I will let you guys think about yours if you guys have them. People wrote Pavel Novotny. Do you know him?
Pavel Novotny? Let me Google this because...
Okay. Chris Rockway, Gage from Sean Cody, Joe Parker from Bait Buddies, Leander, somebody wrote, Cliff Jensen, let's see, Calvin from Sean Cody, Phoenix Saint, Brent Corrigan. Okay, there's one I finally recognize. Cody Cummings.
Me?
Cody, Lucas Ridgestone. Okay, I know that one for sure. Lucas Ridgestone, and I love him. He would be later in the game. Jeremy, do you have a first crush by an adult film star?
I don't. I feel like I can't think of one off the top
Wow.
of my head because I love The Amateur, so I don't like
Oh, okay.
remember anyone that comes to mind specifically.
Okay, that's fair enough. I like that answer. Cody, do you have any first favorite crushes?
My first favorite crush was Max Grand, porn star.
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember him?
I do, actually. That's a good one.
When you said it, I was like, oh, I know this one for sure.
I like that one.
Oh yeah, he was. He's beautiful. I gotta go look him up right now, actually, because
send that link over to me. I like some old time ones. Mine is definitely Jeff Stryker. I know, guys, if you're part of our younger audience, you might be wondering who the hell that is. Jeff Stryker was really big, I believe, in the 80s and definitely into the 90s. He had this deep voice that he used all the time,
like mine.
And he had a huge cock,
like mine.
Okay, you better prove it, bitch. That was like, I mean, it was molded after him, and he seemed like, I saw him in some videos later on after the fact, and he seemed like such a nice guy too. He had great body. He had this really, really rich, thick hair, brown hair that was just great. I really love Jeff Stryker. And a lot of the movies were Stryker or Stryker this, Stryker goes this. And they used his name on a lot of it. And I just loved him. He was like my favorite first. I think there was even a doll, which I would love to find that doll.
Oh God!
Oh man, we got to get you that for Christmas this. Oh, your birthday?
Yeah, I might be making that up, but I'm hoping there is a doll. And yeah, put that on the Christmas list, y'all.
Yes. Oh, I want to say one thing because you said Jeff Stryker was your favorite porn star. When I first came out, I was working at Sam Goody, which is a record.
You know, if you look for it, every day has a cause for celebration. We're celebrating every week, recording our favorite podcast. Celebrate yourself for keeping the couch warm. Or maybe you just want to celebrate living in 2022 where you can get a beer, wine, and spirits delivered from Drizzly in under 60 minutes without leaving said couch. Right now, Drizzly is giving all new customers $5 off their first order with the code FAST5. Recently, I've been using Drizzly every week with my broken ankle, mainly for its convenience of shopping across stores so you can choose from a huge selection. Benefit? Get exactly what you want at the best price. So download the Drizzly app or go to drizzly.com. That's DRIZLY.com and use promo code FAST5 for $5 off your first order.
Totally dates me, but it's okay. And I don't want to put my name.
Come on, old school.
I don't want to put my name on my name tag because I had gotten all these harassing calls on the work phone. They were kind of inappropriate, like heavy breathing and all that kind of. I
Oh,
know it was really scary. It sounds a little bit hot right now, but it was really scary when it was happening
I'm
to me
sure.
when I was 18. So I put Jeff Stryker on my name tag.
Oh my God,
And
I love that.
and nobody ever said anything, or if they knew.
That would really be fun the next time you have to go to like an event and they make you put your name. Because I always hate those dumb names. I hate name tags. I've always hated name tags. I don't know why. I feel like if you want to meet somebody, just say, "Hey, what's your name?"
Yeah,
But it's so stupid for me. But I would love to just put. I'm going to put Jeff Stryker
I
on
think you
my name.
should. I'm gonna put Max
You know,
Brand
if
on
you do it
mine.
at if you do it at a gay, the funny thing is today, if you did it at a gay mixer, for example, the the older queens like myself and well, I'm not going to say older,
And
but
me.
the more mature of a certain age are going to be like ah ha ha and love it,
Yeah.
and the others are going to it's just going to go over their head. They're going to be like who what and hi Jeff
Hi, Jeff.
Stryker. Yeah, I think that everybody should play that game and do it. Do
Yes.
it. Do it.
Yes.
Okay. Well, it's time. We love this segment. It's time to give some advice for one lucky listener. They write, "Hello, Steve, Jeremy, Lincoln, Cody." By the way, Cody's with a K, y'all. Just I know that's people don't know that, but
Yeah.
Cody with a
We spelled
K.
it
And
phonetically. I'm okay.
yeah, a longtime listener, first time writing for advice. Here's his stats. I'm 57-year-old gay man from Boston. I am 5 years out of an 8-year relationship in which I was engaged the last year to my partner, only to find out he had been cheating on me for over a year. Ugh.
Oh
Called
no.
off. I called off the wedding. I would too.
Good
Anyway,
for
I'm ready to
him.
date again. Yeah, I'm ready to date again and have tried all the hookup apps and online dating sites, including OkCupid, Hinge, over the past few years, only to find the quality and mindset of most men in my area to be subpar and scatterbrained, and or just gay men with short attention spans, looking for the next hot thing.
Hmm.
So here's my question, he writes, and it's twofold. With the kind prodding of a straight girlfriend of mine, she has asked me to interview a couple of matchmaking companies. I love that. With the hope of finding better suited men. Do you think this is a good idea? So, the matchmaking is one of his first questions. Do you think
Okay.
he should do that?
Hmm.
He says, I'm an average, good looking man and look 10 years younger than my age. Remember, he's 57.
Hmm.
I'm financially comfortable and lead a very full life with family, friends, and a business. Okay, now the matchmaking firms I have talked to have fees in the $5,000 to $15,000 range. Okay, $1 million matchmaker, Patty. Also, my experience to date is I can get any number of young men for hookups or sugar daddy situations. I I'm I have plenty of fun, sex, kinky, and otherwise, by the way. But men in a more age appropriate dating range of 30 to 60, I seem invisible to and rarely are interested in a date. What's your advice on how I should look for a date or possible partner at this stage in my life? And do you think a matchmaking firm is a good investment?
Okay.
Warmest regards, Jim. Jeremy, what's some advice for Jim? This is pretty. There's quite a lot going on here.
I kind of like the idea of trying a matchmaker. I think if you're financially sound and you have the option to test out those waters, it would be cool to maybe just interview with them just to see uh, what their timeline, like their timeline, their track record, examples that they have. It would be interesting to hear more about that process, I think, if I were him specifically. And I do think just dating in general nowadays is somewhat difficult. And I agree with his points of not always meeting people that have any interest in dating,
Yep.
even in my age group and just the guys that are around here. I find the same exact situation. So I would definitely try it out, or at least go forward with the interview process and see where it takes him from there.
I so agree with you.
Yeah.
And it's hard out there, I think, to date. I mean, whether you're gay or straight or whatever age, I talk to my girlfriends and certainly gay men, of course, on this show. And I agree with you. It's a lot of people go on dates, but it never seems to amount to much after that. And it just seems like this vicious cycle half the time. If you are and you can go to one of these sites, I say why not? I love what you said, Jeremy, and I wrote the same thing, capital YES, to the matchmaker situation,
Mm-hmm.
because a lot of these matchmakers, just thinking of Patty Strangler again, of the $1 Million Matchmaker, who I interviewed, you guys, back in the day when I had my other site. She was on the 405 and I was interviewing her for this whole thing, and she was awesome. I loved her. I used to be a $1 Million Matchmaker fan as well. But she really, and other of these sites vet out the people that they bring
Yeah.
in highly. Now, it doesn't mean you're still not going to go on a lot of dates and, maybe not find initially the right one, but they hold a lot of these people up to a criteria. Like, people have to really want to get matched up for, and they vet these people out,
Yep.
and you can give feedback. And if the feedback's not good, like, oh, this person was flaky or this or that, the matchmaker is going to get rid of them. And so why not put, if you're trying and trying, I have some other advice in a minute, but if you're trying and trying and you have the means and you've already started the process of interviewing some of these, why not go for it? Because it kind of puts a little bit of the work and pressure on somebody else. It's like an agent, right?
Yeah.
Like, why not? It's their job to make this happen. So it kind of makes it fun too, like casting.
I
And I
also do.
love a good
I
casting.
I think they may have like quality versus quantity type of clientele. So I'm assuming that they may be able to find like a better match for this specific listener that maybe also is like not well off, but just in a similar lifestyle, because
Mhm.
I feel like that would help with the dating process and the mindset of settling down and things like that. And so
Mhm.
they may have clientele that would be in a similar playing field as he is.
Yeah.
That is such a good point too, because you forget, maybe you put some of these things on Hinge, what you're into, what you're not, but people gloss over that and forget about it, and you may or may not get to it on the date conversation. But when you
Mm-hmm.
have it on paper and it's presented to you,
And it's
and the
somebody's
matchmaker's
job to
saying,
make
yeah, and the
sure.
matchmaker's saying, look, this person's into wine and exploring the wine country and travel, and you're into this too, and things that they're going to point that out, and it's going to be a lot more real. Cody, what are your thoughts on the matchmaker part of all this?
I think I agree with you guys 100%. I think if he's financially sound, then this is a good way for him to kind of weed out all of the extra people that might be coming at him, or the distractions basically. I want to say kudos to him for, getting out of that relationship and knowing that he deserves better. And I also kind of want him to take into consideration that dating and finding the right person that you want to spend the rest of your life with does take time. So don't be in such a rush to actually get to the end game when it's about the journey.
I love that, because yes, it's 5 years since he's been out of it,
Yeah.
but
A
really,
lot of that
it's
is
always
healing.
healing, and it's always a great time to explore the activities and things that make you happy,
Yeah.
that hopefully involve people that you're going to be with, more like-minded individuals, and maybe find people in that. That's some other advice, to focus on those activities. I know I've just been doing that recently, reshifting with my broken ankle,
Hmm.
and started all of these new activities that, now that I'm living walking, it's going to be fun to explore these. And who knows, who I'm going to come into contact, probably different people than when before all this accident. It's kind of one of those really cool things that has come out of something that could have been seen as truly dark.
Yeah.
I did go on, took the liberty of looking up a site that he didn't list on there. This is a dating app. It's a hookup app
Oh.
called Daddy Hunt.
Oh, I've been on
Now, okay, so let me read you some things that this review of Daddy Hunt, and then I want to hear what you think of it.
Okay.
But this review is pretty positive. It's has an active audience, 86% active audience, quality matches. Now, this is a key here. Quality matches, 75%. Popular age, 25 to 35. That's just the popular age.
Mm-hmm.
Over like 1,600,000 profiles are on there. Reply rate, okay, this is good, 90%.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. It goes on to some other things on there, but I loved this next part, the pros and the cons. Let's read the pros. Huge online base of viewers, love it. For a serious and mature relationship, great, which is what our listeners
That's what he
wanting.
wants.
Various types of members, free registration, easy sign up process. And then there's some things on their website like blogs and online forums, upload and view private photos. Okay, here's the cons. Paid membership to get the most out of the website. Okay. Probably cheaper though than hiring a matchmaker.
Yeah.
Not many young lovers on this site. Well, define young. And it sounds like our listener doesn't want too young.
Yeah.
So that's not really a con. And then lastly, and I think this is not really a con for our listener, not for casual dating and hookups.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's not a con for our listener.
Yeah.
That's a good thing. Sounds like he can already, you can already get the hookup and the thing. So I would consider Daddy Hunt, based on this review, at least check it out, unless we hear something different from Cody.
No, I think Daddy Hunt is a great application to get into. It sounds like it provides a lot of the things that he would like to accentuate from in his search. And I think that I would recommend that he actually when he gets on the site, he talks to the person first just to make sure that he gets to know them a little bit beforehand and gets to make sure that they're in the same type of relationship. They're looking for the same type of relationship that he is. And I think Daddy Hunt, I'm like distracted a little bit because I think Daddy Hunt did a little promo video that was really cute. And I'm thinking about that. I was actually Googling it, but okay, go ahead. What were you going to say?
Okay. No, I think that's great advice. And it's not like you had any horrible things happen on that site. So nice.
Yeah,
I love it.
good.
I hope that helps for you. And with some advice, let us know, though. We want to always hear back from you. And if you want some advice, relationships, sex, we are here for you. You can email us at TAGSPodcast.com, hit the contact, or simply DM us on our Instagram at TAGSPodcast. We are here for you, willing and ready, as always, ready to go. Thank you for that.
Yes. Oh, and
good
Daddy
luck.
Hunt does have like a little web series out, and it's really cute. I recommend you watch
You're
it.
kidding.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking about the whole time I was answering the question. I was like, okay, wait a minute, focus.
Maybe we got to get them on the Tags Live.
That would be
Come on the show.
awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. All right now. Cool. There's a recent Reddit that asked the question, what makes an effective Grindr profile? Speaking of profiles, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Cody, you had a lot of luck on this and found your boyfriend.
I know.
Some of us haven't been so lucky, like our listener and many of us around, but they write on an Ask Gay Men subreddit category, solicited tips for making a Grindr profile. I know what to do, this person writes, with pictures, but what about the actual writing part? I don't know what would be too much or too little. People offered so many tips, like just state what you're looking for and whether you prefer to host or travel. Any preferences? Positive statements only. Looking to top, can host. I prefer smooth, but open to all types. Condoms mandatory were some of the things that people listed.
Mm-hmm.
The single most important thing you need to do is write a profile that within 2 or 3 sentences, y'all,
Oh.
Don't be giving me a whole 5-pager
I was writing a
thing. I know when I
paragraph.
see. It's. I mean, you know those types that there's just on and on and on. And you're like, what the? In the name of keeping it simple, what you're looking for. Make a little mention about what you have to offer and what does not, under any circumstances, what you do not want. The first two can be hard, but just be frank with yourself with the words to come. Show confidence, show good angles. Jeremy, on your profile, what's some things that you have on there that you recommend for what's a good grinder profile?
So I like to recommend like just keeping it cute and short and just get straight to the point. And I think if you're state that what you're looking for on there, like they said, and like one thing that I list on there is that I love to rim, and I just find that that's something that I like to be straightforward about, and that way I also weed out tops that don't want to get rimmed reaching out to me.
Nice.
So
that's very direct, and I love that. Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
You met your boyfriend Cody on here. What was
With
it about your what do you think was what worked? I mean, because this is a good test and it worked for you. What is it about your profile that you had on there that worked for getting Joe?
Sexy pics.
Okay.
Men are all about that visual. I think that the best advice that I could give.
We all got to put countless chest photos all over the place like you.
I think the first picture was actually of my face and of me smiling, and then after that it was just horror city. So
got it.
And
love it.
I mean, hey, it snagged me a man, so I can't be too mad about it or begrudge anybody at this point, right? I also think that I agree with what everybody was saying about not putting anything like negative out there about what you don't want, because that can weed away maybe something that on the outskirts of your preferences that you didn't even know that you wanted. And I think that's a really good point to make. So I'm glad that they said that.
The only thing on that part that I would say that I would disagree with is if you are a devout bottom, or we've talked about this on our other shows, people putting verse bottom when they really are bottom, and people might really be that way. I think in watching that web series that we just had Jack Tracy, what's his last name? Tracy on the show, all the first season of the episode is just dealing with that. He put verse bottom and kept getting bottoms, and he kept breaking up in every episode or in the episodes because he kept saying they're incompatible, and that can happen. I think I've been in that situation too. So I think like Jeremy, where I think in the one part, I think saying what you really want sexually is probably good.
Yeah.
But I agree with you, maybe not putting so many negatives on there about what you don't want to do in terms of life, perhaps. I don't know.
Or like preferences that you have about people. That's what I was kind of getting at. Yeah.
Yeah, the ones about race and shit like that are just
keep that away.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. That's and they deal with that on the web series as well, too. It's about that too. No fats, femmes, all that kind of thing, which pops up all the time. Great advice on that when you're putting together or revising. It's still the beginning of the year, y'all. Chinese New Year's here, so you can revise at any time, but it is always a good time at the beginning of the year. Okay, lastly, I couldn't help. Speaking of dating apps, this is some good news in gay dating app news. When we all know what's going on in Ukrainians, a gay dating app asked users to help Ukrainians, and it blew up with responses. So a well-known gay dating app says it's been blown away by the response its users to the plight of Ukrainians fleeing their country. It estimated around 1 million people have left the country, probably more by now, following Russia's invasion. The social media site and app Romeo, do you know Romeo?
No.
Formerly known as Planet Romeo.
Oh, I know that.
Okay, Cody always. Of course you do.
I was
It was
on everything, child.
I guess. Hence, I guess that's the name of the game. The numbers game here. It was launched in Germany around 20 years ago. It has 3 million members all around the world, but is particularly popular in parts of Eastern Europe and the Baltics. Besides the regular profiles common to such apps, it also allows people to join from a vast number of forum groups. And at the start of the week, it launched a group called Shelter for Ukraine. The group is to connect those who can offer shelter and assistance. Well, users immediately began to join and offer up their spare rooms or homes. The group now boasts over 8,000 members after just 4 days with hundreds of offers of help. Quote, we live in Prague and can offer a place to stay in our small guest room with one bedroom. Was one entry. Somebody else wrote, I can host in Italy near Pisa. One or two persons said in Italian, I live actually in countryside and I can travel and collect you upon the Italian border. Somebody else wrote, I can offer accommodations for the one or those you urgently need, whether male or female, up to 2 people, said another person. Would also offer shelter or sanctuary to those Russian soldiers who oppose the war and or are fleeing from Putin's government as a result.
Wow.
These are really okay,
That's
gay
amazing.
app, Romeo, stepping up to the plate in times of major need. This just warmed my heart.
Yeah.
And this is when I love social media. This is when I love the apps. This is when I love our LGBTQI plus community to show solidarity. If there's never a time of war to show solidarity like this, and the power of being 2022 where we have usage of technology, this just is so awesome to hear.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
This is so heartwarming, and I love that they are actually, using this platform for good. That's what it's out there for. So I'm, like you said, it warms my heart. And are they accepting donations? Did you say that?
They might be. I'll find out more,
'Cause I
and
think
I
I
will
still have a
post
Planet
the
Romeo profile. However you're saying.
Oh yeah, I will go on there. I will find out, but I will definitely post the link on TAGSPodcast.com with more information. You can always follow us at Tags Podcast, including on the TikTok, and follow my co-host. You can follow Jeremy on Instagram at JRossLopez. JRossLopez. Follow Cody. He's got 2. He's a life coach at KMD Coaching, or at Mr. Maurice with the shirt off, likely. Always so much fun. Such a great show, you guys. Thanks, everybody, for listening. And in the meantime, you can continue having hot, gay sex. Yes.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.